Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. So I actually had a really good question, and I confess, I've actually had this question quite a few times over the years. I am currently slogging my way through a 5,000 count wheat cent bag right now, and it's been freaking amazing. I'll be honest with you. And someone had asked, where do you get these bags? Okay, number one, I am scouring local coin shops. All right, they will have them. But I've also shopped for them on eBay as well. Actually, this particular bag came from eBay that I had purchased way back in like September and have sat on it. It's been actually sitting in the garage out of all places because I just didn't want to deal with it at the time. You know, we were heading into the holidays and it was crazy. But probably bar none, one of the craziest wheat cent bags that I've ever gone through. Maybe one day, once I go through all of it, I'll share some of the results with you. But awesome question, great question, because ultimately, the idea today, seeing as how eBay's been around for such a long time now, 2 decades plus, that we have to assume that everything's been searched. However, there's a few things that, ladies and gentlemen, each and every single one of you can do to kind of narrow down some of the more promising listings and weed out the rest. Okay. One of the things that I don't really search for are these mystery rolls of Lincolns and things like that show like a 1909S Ender on it, and kind of makes you guess, oh, is there a VDB on the end? Or one with a 1916D Mercury dime at the end of the thing. I'm like, how does a Mercury dime, the most keyest of key dates, end up as a roll ender in a Lincoln cent roll? Okay, those things are impossible. I don't know how in the world those things happen, but I figure I'd test drive it a little bit for you, kind of show you guys what you can do. And before I decided to do this video, my big worry is, we're going to be injecting a lot of competition in the marketplace to look for these things. But at the end of the day, there's plenty of enough to go around. So here's what I'm doing. So first and foremost, we're going to drill down to exactly what we're looking for, right? We're into coins here. We're into coin business. So we're going to go under collectibles, coins and paper money. And then what I normally search under is this coins US, and then see all in coins US. And then from here, you're going to get a lot of the generic kind of top end listings. I guess these are the sponsored items that people had paid money for to, put on the front page. But as you can see, like things like this worry the crap out of me, and rightfully so, because you rarely get the value out of, currency and silver estate lots. The word estate has been used and abused for probably 30 years. And it's not special anymore. It really isn't. So when you look at stuff like this, I tend to avoid stuff like this. Unfortunately, there's 187 poor souls that actually bought into that. All right. If you did the math here, let me just do the math for you to give you an idea of how much this particular seller had grossed. Let's see, 49.39 times 187 lots. How's that? And of course, you have to take off however much he or she had spent on there. But that's probably, it says sponsored too, so they paid into that. So if you clicked into this and then you go into see other items that they have on there, you're going to see pretty much a number of the same stuff with just different pictures, maybe different combinations of coins and things like that. And they're all what is considered to be more of the affordable side to collecting. Like someone that only has $50 to spend can go out and buy one of these. And yeah, I'm talking about this particular seller. I'm probably doing more of a plug for them than one where I'm telling stay away from this. But as you can see, there's been quite a few people that have bought into these. Just this one alone, that's $100. They'd sold 38 of them. All right, that's nearly $3,800 in profit. But you can see how many different variants that this person has put up on here. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge red flag, and this is one that should be avoided at all costs. So that's this one, all right? But let's go back to wheat cent bags. And we're simply just going to I'm going to type in 5,000 wheat pennies. Because even though the term penny is across the pond in England, and that's how they've always termed it, that's how it's been widely accepted here in the U.S. Me personally, it's either pennies or cents. Cents is the correct terminology. But when we're looking in here, and like this lot right here. Okay, so first thing you ought to do is break down the cost. All right, because 5,000 count wheat cent bags have gone up a little bit in price. So for this one here, let's say you decide you didn't want to deal with the best offer, you just want to go and buy it. All right. You have to understand the date range, 1909 to 1958. So you're going to get maybe one or two 1909s in there. Quite a few teens, although I probably wouldn't hold my breath on getting like Denver and San Francisco minted coins out of there. And if you do, they're probably going to be 1917 all the way up to 1919. D's and S's, which are a dime a dozen. They're very, very available, and they're going to be in low condition. But let's say you paid $345, all right, divided by 5,000. Because the idea is you want to get the per piece price. Generally, Lincoln cent lots between 1909 to 1958, the retail rate is about 5 cents per coin, but this seller has it at 6.9 cents. You can do the math yourself if you don't believe me. But as you can see, they certainly go up, and they use this funny little keyword called unsearched. Now, really, a company like Hyatt Coins, and they're a round table authorized dealer. Do you really think that they're unsearched by a dealer, no less? I mean, are you going to have any luck whatsoever finding maybe a 1909S non-VDB key date or a 1914D in low condition in there? No, absolutely not. Those are generally not going to be in there. And again, that's the mindset deal with this. You have to assume that those major key dates are not going to be in there. I would probably be hesitant to even see a 24D or maybe even a 26S, which are kind of like mid-level, kind of like semi-keys. So here's what I do. And this is the kind of practice that you need to do, not only when you're searching through for bulk opportunities like this, but also for some of you folks that are buying anything, any sort of coin or whatever, or, any other collectibles, sports cards, comic books, things of that nature. So you go in here and you click on the listing. And where it says Hyatt Coins, you want to go into their other item list. And here's why. When you go in here, you need to, first of all, they're stacked. They have 4,300 listings. You have to see what else they sell. They sell singular coins. Here's a 28S piece dollar that they have bid up, 21. They have a graded Lincoln cent. They have a 72 SBU roll right there for $15, which is a little bit on the high side for that date. Here's an NGC graded 56D. So what you want to do is look for other Lincoln cents that this person has for sale. And the big reason why is if they have a bunch of singles, a bunch of singular coin listings, especially Lincoln cents, um, that's a big red flag. That means the wheat cent bags that they do have been searched. All right. The one big telltale kind of like red flag in all of this is when you're going through here and all the other coins that they're selling other than that 5,000 count wheat cent bag are varieties that you could find out of the wheat cent bags, in varying degrees of grade. Especially that kind of like VF to AU grade, which is kind of like the typical grade range for those type of finds. Like this right here. This, at first glance, looks very innocent and innocuous. 1969 Lincoln Memorial Cent with that Apollo moon landing counter stamp on there. I mean, how else would you find that other than going through a bulk lot of maybe copper Lincolns, later dated Lincoln Memorial stuff that people do turn in. People actually turn those in and they sell them for like 1.5 cents per or face value or whatever it is. But you look through their listings, and what you can do, if you didn't want to look through all the other miscellaneous stuff, is when you get up top, right where the search bar is, where it says search all 4,309 items, simply type in Lincoln. And it's going to search every single Lincoln under Hyatt coins. So when we do that, that's weird. That is very weird. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's weird. But let's see, 34,000 items sold. You could always go into their feedback, read the feedbacks, and just kind of go through them. It used to be that you could go in there and take a look at. There you go. You could take a look at the various items that they do sell. Now, the big reason why I possibly could trust this company is that they're not selling a bunch of the product that you could find out of a unsearched 5,000 count wheat cent bag, with exception of those key dates. I generally buy these wheat cent bags with the notion that there's going to be no 14Ds, no 22 planes, no 1909Ss, no 31Ss, none of that stuff. I think I found one 14D, and that was like 12 years ago. It was in such poor shape. I ended up selling it for $40. That's how bad it was. But you can see they operate much like the same as a coin shop would, like a regular brick and mortar. And oftentimes when you walk into these places, they're going to have a bunch of junk all over the place. And when I mean junk, it's all numismatic related type of items. And especially if they're operating a e-commerce platform, whether it's this or a Shopify or something like that, they're not going to have a whole heck of a lot of time to sit there with each and every single coin, with a magnifier to determine if it's an RPM or a double to die. All right, they're just not going to do that. They're going to quickly go through it to look for those 14Ds, the 55 DDOs, which stick out like a sore thumb. Those come up very infrequently, by the way, along with some of the other key dates. So I would certainly trust this particular dealer if I were going to look for that. However, you have to get past the hurdle of spending $445 for this bag, which is way above market. All right. And this particular seller has no leeway whatsoever with a best offer. I mean, you could certainly send them a message and say, hey, will you take 300? Which is a lot closer to the market for what these are. But it would be a pretty bad feeling moment if you bought into that and come to find out that everything's been stripped out of it. All right. The only use that bag will have is to fill an album, and that's it. So always look through their other listings, because that's going to reveal a lot about the seller. The ones that are not paying too much attention are degenerate enough to kind of miss out is that they are listing the finds that they get out of these wheat cent lots. They're listing it on their eBay all the while at the same time, they're selling the bulk rest of it, the junk, back to the public. So that's something to look out for. That's again a huge red flag. But take advantage of perusing through. Take the time to peruse through their other listings. Another thing that I like when I go through people's lots like this is how many available bags do they have for sale. If they have one singular bag, I would least likely trust those people rather than the people that had maybe 10, 20 bags. And here's the big deal. If you're an established coin dealer, and this is something you got to know, wheat cents are one of the more commonly traded items that come into their stores. Usually they're more of an afterthought. They'll get one collection that has maybe 60 of them in there, just kind of like at the bottom of a box or something. Nothing really to write home to mother about. But they end up taking all of these coins that have come from various collections that come in throughout their daily, business affairs, and they'll put it all in one bucket, and they're going to count it, and if it reaches 5,000, they're going to seal up their bag and then make it available for public sale. All right, so those are some of the ones that I personally like. And that's why coin dealers are one of my favorite establishments to use when I'm buying bulk. Is that if they're big enough of a company, and you could always go on Google and do a quick search of that establishment, see if they have a brick and mortar. Those are the ones that, it's a very small percentage of dealers that actually go through every coin to look for, an RPM 6 on a 1957 Denver Lincoln, which is like crap. It's not even worth talking about. So that's how I would approach it. The much the same way as another big one that people like going through is let's see, bulk Buffalo nickels. This is one also that I look for as well. Like if you were going to buy this one here, the lot of 170 Buffalo nickel bulk coin lot, it's on a regular bid setup on eBay. So it's got 5 bids, $36, $10 shipping. Click on the listing. Always go to see other items. See what else they have. They have another small little lot here of $19.90 face of Merc dimes. They also, and I like these. I actually like this kind of seller because when you look at their other stuff, they look more likely to be a flea market kind of seller, where they have just a myriad of things without giving any sort of regard to the minutia. And what I mean by that is varieties. The sterling silver Pepsi Cola advertising pocket watch fob that they're selling for $84. What if there's a rare variety where, one of the design pieces of this watch fob is different from the regular, manufactured pieces, the final ones. What if they made a pre-production type of that's worth $1,000? All right, maybe they would not know about that. So as you can see, they have sports items, Chicago Bulls, Nebraska Cornhuskers. I mean, they have like a wide range of different cool things. So when we get to this original lot that we were looking at, the $36 here, I'm liking it a little bit more. And if you look closer, you're going to find that a lot of the coins are from the 30s and they have full readable dates. All right, so which means a lot of the coins will probably end up grading VG, fine, and higher. And what do we know about 1930s Buffaloes? There's a lot to look for in these. A lot of RPMs, DDOs. There's the three-legged Buffalo dates from 37D and 36D. So you get the big picture. I really like this lot right here. If I were looking to buy Buffalo nickels in bulk, because in bulk, you're paying a lot less per piece than you normally would if you had bought them singularly. So, yeah, those are a few best practices that I encourage you guys to employ when you're shopping around, because a lot of people say, well, there's just a bunch of crap on eBay now. Like, it's the most degenerate hotspot for getting rid of your junk. And it doesn't have to be like that. You have to put in kind of like that pre-work to determine what looks good and what does not. All right. And, look out for them red flags. Look out for similar coins being sold. Like if I went into this seller's store and I'd see they have a bunch of like singular, like just okay graded buffaloes, but they're all keys, then I would cast a much more cloud of doubt on the legitimacy of something like this as being a good buy or a good search, because we all want something that we can hunt through and have fun. And if it's already been hunted out, that's not fun at all. That's quite frankly a waste of time. And I've been there and done that. So I would expect that you guys don't do that. So those are a few things. Again, check it out. Do the extra work. Look at their other stuff. And you'll do just fine. But that's why I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in on this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound, or you can call me Blue from Sean Ridge Silverhound, whichever you like. I hope you guys have a really fun hunt this weekend. Hopefully you guys are checking out some of the big coin shows. I guess Long Beach is going on right now, which is another big show. But that's it. I'll see you guys on the next coin video, and hope to see you on the live coin Q&A on Monday as we give away a few Silver Eagles from the Vault Box. All right, so long.